Yo y'all, this is Wasabi7, and today I'm going to continue and possibly conclude the DreadX collection. Um, Last time we played Don't Go Out, which was very, very good, um, and it was very different than the other ones, and I liked it a lot. In fact, I think it was the only one that wasn't a first-person game. In fact, yeah, it was. It was the only one out of the lot of these that isn't first-person, unless Odd Breeze isn't. Um, So, yeah, today we'll be playing, The Pay is Nice by Odd Breeze. So, yeah, today we'll be playing The Pay is Nice.
So, one of the more intolerable habits of first year ethics students is their seemingly unquenchable passion to constantly debate tired and ultimately pointless dilemmas, none of which is more tired and pointless than the trolley problem. Do you stand by and let the trolley kill 5 people, or do you flip a switch and direct the trolley to hit only one? It generally devolves into a protracted debate on the utilitarian valuing of various peoples that would be okay to sacrifice over others. That is, after the deontological wankers have since declared their superiority and are now drinking healthy gulps of their own self-satisfaction. Unfortunately, they rarely see the fundamental absurdity of the entire experiment. I mean, the choice of the many versus a few doesn't happen in a vacuum. A triage doctor doesn't choose to save the healthier patients just the once. They do so every time such an emergency arises. And the reasoning is simple. Biology dictates that we all subconsciously assume we will be part of the many. We preserve the group because it will help us preserve ourselves. And in return, the group gives us a reasonable abstraction as to how our actions are justified. Trickle this greater good down a few levels, and you can see how someone can work for 10 years selling running shoes and never ask who made them. The real lesson of the trolley car is that clarity is absurdity. Abstraction is reality.
I suppose, from a certain perspective. Anyways, Odd Breeze. Discover what happens in an ultra-secure facility as you get ready for work and wander the dark halls of your office. Using old school fixed camera perspective, they're watching your every moves. WS forward and back, A and D turn, space to interact. Okay, the pay is nice. Whoa. All right. Nice. This is... Ooh, I can hear my computer revving up. Okay. Oops. All right, then. Man, the graphics on this are pretty good. Especially for 10 days of work. Oh, God, this is gonna be... feel like I'm fucking... Oh, yep, no animations for that. I feel like I'm playing Resident Evil or something. Mindfulness. Become the better future. Oops. Huh. Okay, do I go down this way maybe? Ah, Gordon Freeman, it is you, isn't it? Okay, anyway. Take off the jacket. Take off the dirty boots. Change outside pants for inside pants. Put on the clean shoes. But not the clean pants. I'm a scientist, that's what I'm supposed to say if anyone asks. I didn't study to become a scientist, I've just always been obsessed with processes and experiments. I was recruited to work for this company. I'm not sure how they found me, but they sent me a letter. I almost threw the letter away, but I'm glad I didn't. The pay is nice. Where was I? Put the smock on, put the book away, empty the pockets. Mindfulness works on secret projects to help humanity improve at an exponential rate. If you're systematic, can follow instructions, and have effective written communication, come work with us. That's what the job description mentioned. The company doesn't have a website, but I know they've existed for more than 20 years. I did my research. I'm a scientist. The pay is nice. Turn off the cell phone, store the cell phone, close the locker, lock the locker, pull on the lock, make sure it's locked. Alright. Yeah, these graphics are really fucking good for just 10 days of work. The job description wasn't too interesting, but I was in a rough spot. The company I worked for closed, something about cash flow issues. I don't know much about business, but I was told that this happens a lot. My parents moved away. They said something about wanting to start over again. They never quite liked that I didn't want to pick up the family business. I guess they abandoned me. The job is boring, but like I said, the pay is nice. Graveyard shift again. I haven't used the front doors in years. I wish that he would turn around a little faster, I have to say. Is it this way, maybe? No, that's... Okay, oh my gosh, where's my guy? Oh, there he is. I've got to say the constant changing of perspective is difficult to get used to on how to find the right direction to go. The damn light's broken again. Yeah, there seems to be a lot of lights broken in here. Ooh man, scaling up that FOV. Scan the key card, open the door, stay silent, nod at the guard, walk through the door. Hello? A job that contributes to the advancement of humankind is no simple task. There's a reason this is an ultra-secure facility, and that no unauthorized person can go inside. Even I don't know everything that happens between these walls, so I don't question what I'm being told to do. The pay is nice. Ooh, and some blood on his collar there. Pick up the handgun, load the magazine, remove the safety, cock the gun. What the fuck just happened? Okay. Just standard procedure, I guess? What the fuck just happened there? Stay silent, wait for the lights, stay in the lights, walk to the office, stay silent, they're watching. Stress? Oh. Come on, dude. Oh, shit. No, I'm not fast enough. Look at that stress level, good lord. Yeah, that was close. The company is obsessed with security. We work on sensitive research probably funded by the government. Most of the information is redacted when I receive it. They make sure the schedule of the other researchers doesn't overlap. You never cross someone in the hallway. They open only the requested lights on the way to my office. Everything else is pitch dark. The door locks after I step into my office. I'll need to ask permission if I need to use the bathroom, but I don't question it. The pay is nice. See, okay. This is something that I've always kind of thought, even ever since I was like a younger kid. There has to be a balance between your pay and your free time. If you're getting paid, like, okay, let's take, for example, my middle school gym teacher, or one of them anyways. He said that he was offered like some kind of a tech job, you know, and it said that they would pay him an incredible amount of money, you know, something he said, I think upwards of $100,000 a year as a starting salary. But that, and he said that they said that, but we don't care if it's your wedding night. If we call you in, you have to come in. And he said no. And instead became a gym teacher, you know? And it's like, you get to the point in life where sometimes you gotta eventually wonder, you know, well, you gotta balance free time with work time, or, you know, free time with your pay. Because yes, $100,000 a year, holy shit, that's a lot of money. But, you know, you could never make plans. You could have no social life. Or if you did have a social life, you could only have it with people who really understood that you might just have to, you know, like if you plans to do something for a week or something like that, you might just have to say, sorry, I just can't. I have to go to work, you know? Anyways, this briefcase is killing me. I should drop it off on my other desk before I sit down. Your other desk? Ah. Fuck, that briefcase is heavy. At least now I can run if needed. Okay. Oh, great. They already got the autopsy report out. Cause of death, cardiac arrest due to drug abuse. Isn't that the guy that he just shot? Sounds about right. Well, no. Clean pants. Look at your fucking lab coat covered in blood. Pull back the chair, start the computer, sit down, move the chair forward, enter my password. We do experiments on the human brain. We improve them by freezing the state they work in. At least that's what they're promising. I gather data, do analysis, and enter new values in the software. I vary the amount of medicine and hardware specifications to different scenarios, test different scenarios. The software runs simulation on my parameters, and if the results are good, they'll send me in the experiment room. The pay is nice. How much is the pay? Save the changes, stand up, put the chair back, wait for the door to unlock. This door or the door over yonder? That clock is so damn loud. Whoa, that's a lot of creepy masks. Anyways, I hate having clocks that loud. It's so annoying, and it's really eerie too. With all the gross things I see in here, it's good to have interesting fishes to look at. I think the plural for fish is just fish. Interesting. The bugs ingested with dye seem to split into different camps. I'm breeding these bugs. I'm hoping to extract some chemicals out of them. Anything here? Yes. Still waiting for the specimen to arrive. I wonder where my shipment is. These are all the books I have about medicines and their interactions. I'm keeping a copy of my experiment results in here, just in case something happens with our network. Well, that's probably a good idea. This is my office closet. I lost the key a while back. Maybe you should ask for it back or something. No. Alright, let's see here. Been collecting these over the past few years. A real shame I got some of them dirty. They're really big. I didn't get the okay to leave the room yet. Well... I'm not really quite sure what this game is trying to get me to do. I mean, interacting with the computer does nothing. I can't interact with any of this stuff. I interacted with, I mean, everything that I can see in this room anyways. Oh, in here or out there? Ah, mask fell off. And it's fucking gone. Oh. This is sort of ruining the scene. I'm just... What the fuck was that? Whoops. Oh. Hey. That's my calling. Time to head out. Okay. Oh, there we go. Gosh, it is really difficult to navigate with this fixed camera stuff. The experiment room is down the hallway. These empty halls give me the creep. The one and only creep. This shit is nerve-wracking every single time. I've done some bad things I'm not proud of. I go to bed with the nightmares of this place raging inside my head. Doesn't matter, the pay is nice. This place is so dark and can barely see anything. Seems like the tests have completed already. Let's see, there are 4 test subjects to validate. Patient 1 died. Let's see, cause of death, car accident, head-on collision, sudden death. Let's see how patient 2 is doing. Increased pulmonary efficiency by 12%. Vital stable. Success. Patient 3. What the fuck? The pot is empty. Where's my fucking card? Oh no. I'm so fucked. What? Thank you for playing The Pay is Nice? Yeah, that was it. Contract on hold. Okay, that was weird. I'm quite confused on what just happened there. That seems incredibly abrupt, I have to say. Gosh, wow. Well, it really looks like we did all of the super long games first, and then the shorter games afterwards. Well, I guess that was The Pay is Nice. It was interesting. The fixed camera angle was pretty good, as far as like the angles that the camera was at. The problem is that the controls were... It's not like, you know, if I need to go forward and he's facing down, then I still press W, which is kind of like the up key, because it makes the character go forward, not the, you know, individual go backwards according to how the screen looks. It just... And I feel like a faster turning speed would have been good. Yeah, but other than that, gameplay was pretty solid. It was very simple. I liked the narrative of, you know, him kind of talking to himself in his head, all of that. But, and it seems like it was heading somewhere, but then it just kind of stopped. Obviously, they only had 10 days, and it seems like this dude focused mostly on graphics. The graphics were pretty good. I mean, that was literally AAA quality. Obviously, it was only like a 15-minute game, but Yeah, definitely top notch on the graphics, but like was it trying to say that he was the third test subject? Kind of a dark twist at the end. That's I think I'm gonna go with that. But that was the last game in the DreadX collection. I don't know if well, actually, hold on. Give me 1 sec. All right, I'm back. So basically, I was just looking to see if there was any kind of like secret or ending or something like that. Not to see what it was, but just to see if there was something like that. If I had, had all of these clawed out. But it doesn't seem like that there is. So I think then that'll do it for the DreadX collection. I have to say, it's certainly different than what I expected when I went into it. Going into it, I expected it to be a compilation of particularly good, or at least very highly rated, games that were made in 10 days, that had been made in previous game jams. I didn't realize that the DreadX collection was basically a game jam in and of itself. And I'm not going to do like a full rundown on the entirety of the game like I usually do at the end of series, because I kind of did that with every one of them since this is more of a collection of short games. Overall, it was an interesting idea, I think, to try to... Because game jams, usually it's just a page with links to all of the games in the jam that you can just download. But in this one, it was like a paid thing that you downloaded as one file that was a collection of a bunch of different games, which I can't think of a time that's ever been done before as far as game jams go. Yeah, I don't know. It was definitely worth the price. It was only like $7 or something for all of this, and I mean, a lot of these were, Shatter, The Pony Factory, Mr. Bucket Told Me To, Hand of Doom, and Don't Go Out, I would say, are probably my favorites. Those ones were really high quality, I have to say. Carthonk, Outsiders, Summer Night, and Odd Breeze, I would say, are I keep saying Odd Breeze because I'm seeing that, and The Pay Is Nice, I would say, are probably next. Those ones I would say were good, but they weren't like great. They didn't stand out. They were just, they were okay. And again, I didn't really finish Carthonk or Outsiders, so take my opinion on them with a grain of salt, I suppose. But part of the reason I didn't finish them was just because Carthonk was extremely difficult and Outsiders was incredibly confusing. And Rot Gut was just not very good, in my opinion. I didn't really like it, and it was incredibly glitchy, and it didn't seem to have an end. And somebody pointed out, actually, in a video, I think I might have mentioned this earlier, but in case I didn't, somebody pointed out in a comment on the video for Rot Gut that the message here, I think, says...
Preparing a proper dose...
No, not there. Yeah, hints. It's not the destination, it's the journey. Right. And so that it wasn't the ending for that was really supposed to matter, but rather the whole thing. It's just that the journey itself wasn't good either. It was filled with gaps in the map, like very visible gaps, and epileptically flashing textures, and some things that just weren't textured, or just the worst compression of a JPEG stretched out, ruining its aspect ratio I've ever seen. It was really not very good. Anyways, but yeah, gosh, how would I rate them 1 to 10? I would say my favorite is Hand of Doom, and that would either have to be followed by Don't Go Out or or Shatter. I think I would go Hand of Doom from favorite to least favorite. I would go Hand of Doom, Shatter, Don't Go Out. Mr. Bucket Told Me To. The Pony Factory. Car Thonk. Summer Nights. The Pay Is Nice. Outsiders. Rock Cut. Yeah, that's what I would say from my favorite to least favorite. And yeah, so I guess that'll pretty much do it for the Red X collection. It was fun for most of them, and I'm glad that I played it. There is a Dread X Collection 2 that I think was released a few weeks ago, and I know that there will be a third one, or at least there's been talk of one that is going to be or is in development already. So, I don't plan to record the Dread X Collection 2 because if it's anything like this one, I feel like this is a better... I would rather shift attention to other things because, excuse me, this game as a collection wasn't bad, but it wasn't anything amazing. It wasn't like outstanding. I personally think I'll definitely play the Dread X Collection 2, like just on my own time, but I don't think that I'll probably record it. And even if I did record it, and I know when I do eventually play it, it's not probably going to be anytime soon. It'll probably be a couple months from now. So I don't plan to record it, but if you guys do really want to see the Dread X Collection 2, or rather see me play it, then leave a comment and voice your not want, or I guess your want? That doesn't sound right. Voice your, not opinion, voice your support for it? That's, I don't really know how to word that. Well, you know what I mean. You know, if you want to see it, then leave a comment saying so. And if enough people say that they want to see it, then I will record it. But again, if I do, it probably won't be for another couple of months. Yeah, this was an interesting thing. Again, definitely different than I expected. I have to say, Mr. Bucket Told Me To really stood out to me. It was definitely the scariest out of a lot of these. Not visually or anything like that, but the music was incredibly eerie, and just the overall plot to it made for an extremely uncomfortably unsettling scenario without being particularly violent. There was no death or gore or anything. Well, actually, I suppose depending on what you choose to do, there is death of yourself. But you know what I mean. I mean, this one was very unique, I have to say. I enjoyed this one. As far as I feel like the theme really of this was fear of a loss of sanity or through a loss of sanity. The theme of this Dread X collection. I don't know if 2 will have the same theme or if they change the theme for every one of them, but that seems to be the theme of this whole collection. And I have to say, Mr. Bucket Told Me To nailed that. Overall, disregarding that, my favorite would be Hand of Doom, and then probably followed by Don't Go Out. Those were 2 very unique ones, and they were really, really well done. But Mr. Bucket Told Me To, it wasn't impressive, and really graphically it was pretty mediocre, I have to say. It was a lot of textureless models and stuff like that, a pretty basic Unity game. But yeah, it was really freaky, I have to say. I mean, I would just keep talking about it. But anyways, I have to say, personally, I think horror works best in a slow way where what's sudden isn't you becoming scared, but what's sudden is you realizing how scared you are. Because when you play a game like Outlast or Amnesia or, um, well, those two specifically a lot, actually, I feel like there's another, like, big title horror game that I'm not really thinking about. Anyways, something like Outlast or Amnesia. That games like that and a lot of indie horror games are just fucking filled with jump scares. And Amnesia, I guess, wasn't as big a. Outlast was the main one. There are so many jump scares in Outlast, it's crazy. And they're very effective. I think a vast majority of people get scared by jump scares, even if they don't show it. Um, and it is an easy way to freak people out, but it's not. The thing about it is a jump scare. You can recover from a jump scare as quickly as it happens. You know, it happens, you're scared, but only for like a few seconds, and then you just realize, well, wait a minute, I'm in a game. It doesn't matter, you know? That shock value, you know, it has a very sharp rise and a very sharp fall. Um, yeah, I guess that's pretty much it with that. Like, but I think in a game such as Mr. Bucket Told Me To, or another one was like Presentable Liberty, that you know, a much older one, but or like uh even something like Ebe, to be honest. It's a scenario where it's not filled with jump scares and it's not filled with like very quickly scaring but also quickly recoverable fears. It's like you're playing it and it doesn't seem that scary. It seems pretty basic or like pretty minor. And then after playing the game for an hour, you suddenly look into yourself and you're just like, holy shit, I'm kind of freaked out right now, you know? You have that sudden realization that you are actually very scared. Um, yeah. And I think it's a much better, or at least more effective kind of fear. SCP Containment Breach, by the way, was the name of that other. I guess that's not really a AAA big title horror game, but it's another one that's heavy on fear factor. But it's another one that very, very heavily emphasizes on jump scares to be scary. And it's got a lot of atmospheric aspects to it too, but something that is as subtle as a game like Mr. Bucket Told Me To. It's just visually it's not scary. The sound isn't really scary unless you consider the music, which is only scary when you think about it because the music is actually very happy. And so, like, if you didn't, if you couldn't read English, for example, the game wouldn't seem scary at all, hardly. But it's just the fact that the fear happens, you know, totally in your mind without having to see anything other than the words, rather than happening in the game. And, you know, the primal parts of yourself reacts to it as a jump scare, like, oh, I'm in danger, and then, within 2 seconds you realize it's a video game and you're calm again. But something like this is a lot more well, it does kind of jump out at you because you do eventually, like, with Mr. Bucket Told Me To, for me it was really like right at the end, right at the end of the episode that I recorded for it, where I was just like, wow, I'm actually kind of freaked out right now, Like, there was no jump scares in that game, in fact. It was very subtle in the way that it built up horror. And, yeah, I mean, Carthonk had jump scares galore. Shatter wasn't actually really that scary. There was a couple. The atmosphere was the biggest thing. The Pony Factory, that one was also very jump scary, but you had a weapon, so it made it a lot less. Rot Gut wasn't really scary at all. We would just explain that one. Outsiders was a mix of jump scares and atmosphere, I would say. Summer Night was very auditory in its fear for the first half, and then for the second half it changed to visual and jump scares. Hand of Doom also wasn't very scary. Don't Go Out, another one that wasn't really that scary. Yeah, neither of these were very scary. They just had kind of horror elements to them. And The Pay Is Nice was another one that was a mix of like psychological and atmospheric horror. But it ended so abruptly that it kind of just ripped you out of the experience, and any fear that you did have just felt extremely fabricated. Because of how, the ending was so abrupt that it just made me think, well, that was, I guess we're done with that now, Like, I didn't really have time to reflect on it, like, subconsciously, to become scared in the first place. So, yeah, and then I guess that's pretty much it. So that was the Dread X collection. Yeah. So, and again, I plan to play, but not to record the Dread X collection too. But if you would like to see me record it, if you would like to see a series of it, voice your want for that in the comments. And I guess that's about it. So, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and this series, then please leave a like and subscribe to join the Quarrels Rebellion. If you have any suggestions for games for me to play or ways to make my commentating more enjoyable, don't hesitate to leave a comment. That's about it. See ya.